Welcome to the Ultimate Flags of the World tier list. In this video, I'll be going through every single flag and sorting them into the following categories: sexy, epic, pretty cool, does the job, and awful. Ooh. It is worth noting that I'm basing this purely on what a flag looks like as opposed to the country itself. I'm not getting political. So they're pretty much in alphabetical order, so we begin with Andorra, which for me is either a pretty cool or a does the job, because yes, it's quite a nice classic looking flag, but at the same time it's quite similar to a few other flags like Moldova, for example. So it's either like the best of does the job or the bottom of pretty cool. At this stage I'll whack it in pretty cool, but that might change. The next flag is UAE, even though they're meant to be in alphabetical order. After that it's Afghanistan, Antigua, Albania, and Azerbaijan, Angola, Argentina, and Austria. But why is UAE second? Anyway, I'm sorry, but UAE, it's a boring flag visually, isn't it? Just like a lot of other Middle Eastern countries. Do I want to put it in awful? That feels harsh, you know? I mean, what flag is worse? Let's be honest. It's so rectangular, man. I might have to leave it in awful, and I'm really sorry about that. Then we've got the Afghanistan flag coming up next, and I think for me, it's probably it does the job. It's a very complicated central design that would be really difficult for you to draw, but I do think it's quite iconic, and once you've learnt your flags, it's one of them that you do recognize instantly. But then we come up to Antigua Barbuda. Could that be an epic? I think it's our first epic of the video. Look at that. There is no other flag like it. It's not too complicated. A 5-year-old could draw that flag quite easily. Beautiful. Mwah, very nice. Next is Albania. Quite a scary, badass looking flag. I think it goes in pretty cool. Then there's Azerbaijan, which, I mean, let's be honest. It's a does the job, isn't it? Or is that Armenia? Wait. That's Armenia. I'm sorry. I corrected myself, so you can't make fun of me. But yes, Armenia is a does the job. Then we've got Angola, which is another badass looking flag. And do you know what? I think I'm whacking it in epic. It's very striking. It's unique, recognizable. It's got a big scary sword on it. The color scheme is badass. That's an epic flag. Argentina coming up next. I like the color scheme. I like the little sun face. It's pretty cool. Let's be honest. Then we've got Austria, which once again is a does the job, isn't it? It's a very basic flag, but it is recognizable, so we'll leave it there. Oh, Bulgaria's snuck its way in next. Bulgaria is definitely not an awful flag, but it is a does the job. You can see that we've got a bit of a tricolor theme going on. Australia coming up next. Is it pretty cool? It is, isn't it? I'm generally not a big fan of flags that still have a Union Jack in them, but this Union Jack does complement the rest of the flag quite nicely. Okay, here's Azerbaijan, you cheeky little fella. Azerbaijan has got some very nice coloring to it with this light blue, but is it deserving of epic? No, it isn't, is it? It can go at the top of pretty cool, though. Move over, Andorra. What are you doing? There we go. Oh, then we've got Bosnia and Herzegovina. Still don't quite know how to pronounce that country. This one's unique, doing its own thing. No other flag like it. I do kind of feel like it would look better if they moved the yellow box all the way over to the right, though, so there wasn't this little blue gap. But that's just me. Then we've got Barbados. Ooh, Barbados could be epic. Or could it be more? Is it pretty cool? Is it epic? Is it pretty cool? Is it epic? It's very striking. I like the black against the yellow. We'll leave it at epic for now. I might move it. Then we've got Bangladesh. And do you know what? Bangladesh, if you were a centered red dot, you'd be down in does the job. But you're off center. You're mixing it up a bit. So it's a flag I really like. Is it epic worthy? Nah, but it is pretty cool. Okay, Belgium. All right. Even though you would think I'd probably whack this in does the job with the other tricolors, I'm not going to, because I just think the colors go together really, really nicely. And it's a recognizable flag, which is difficult when you're just a European tricolor flag. But Belgium's somehow gotten away with it. You're going in pretty cool. Oh, and now we've got 2 levels to pretty cool. Burkina Faso coming in next. Very obscure country. Is it a does the job? If I've got Afghanistan there, then you know, it looks nice, but it's a very difficult flag to remember. So it's staying in does the job. That's going to be Bahrain, isn't it? So Bahrain and Qatar, very, very similar. And for that, I think one of them needs to go in awful, which is mean. I know. I'm sorry about that. But Bahrain is not awful. It does the job. When we get to Qatar later, you will see that that is definitely the worst of the two if you had to pick between them. Okay, then we've got, that's Burundi, isn't it? Burundi's a pretty cool flag. You go up there. Okay, Benin coming up next. Benin's tricky, you know, because it is very, very simple. It's probably a does the job, isn't it, if I was to look at the others? Yeah. Then we've got Burundi, which is a very outlandish, complicated flag, but the black and yellow background, very striking, and the badass red thing with the hands, oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, it could even dip into epic, you know. I reckon get rid of Barbados and whack it in epic, because it is striking. Okay, where's this? That's gonna be Mali, I think. No, I'm wrong. Well, I can't even remember what it is. I'm gonna have to put it in awful. I feel awful about it, but I can't remember what country it is. And that's clearly the flag's fault rather than my own. So let's move on. Brazil is an epic flag. I think the fact that it looks like a planet just makes it feel so massive and extravagant. It just feels ginormous. And it's iconic as well, isn't it? So it goes straight into epic. Then we've got Bahamas, and you know what? I'm a sucker for a bit of light blue. I could even put it in sexy, but only for a second and then take it back out again. But ooh, that light blue, it does something to me, you know? Moving on to Bhutan, the first of our epic badass dragons. It's a badass dragon. It's epic. It goes in epic. Then Botswana. Botswana's a nice one, you know. I like Botswana flag a lot, and you know, it's nothing too complicated, but it just works. Okay, what's this next one? I think it's been cropped badly. Is it Madagascar? No, it's not. It's the wrong kind of color. Well, I can't quite see it, so I'm afraid I am gonna have to put it into awful, but that could be the tier list website's fault rather than the flag. Belize coming up next, a very complicated flag, perhaps even too complicated, which is a shame. It is one of the only flags that's got feet on it. I don't know where to put it because I can't describe it as awful, but surely it does more than does the job. They've gone the extra mile there, but is it pretty cool? Do you know what? I suppose it is, but I think it is overall too complicated. Next is the Canadian flag. It's probably a does the job, but it is a very iconic flag. Nah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? It's the bottom of pretty cool. Democratic Republic of Congo is a nice flag. I would potentially whack it in epic. I think it's just the color systems work really well. Colombia coming up next. Does the job? I think it's pretty cool, you know. Central African Republic. That's an epic flag. Up you go. It's colorful. It's bright. It's doing its own thing. I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. It's epic. Oh, what country is that? I genuinely can't quite remember. It's Republic of the Congo. Okay, of course. Well, the fact that I can't quite remember it... but it does look nice. I like the diagonal. It keeps it fresh. It is probably it does the job if I didn't quite remember it. Oh, we've stretched now. Can't even fit everyone in. Then we've got the Switzerland flag. I think the fact it's one of the only square flags and they've mixed it up in that regard means that they get to go into pretty cool. So then we do not have Ireland. This is actually Ivory Coast. And I think the fact that both Ireland and Ivory Coast are so similar means potentially... I can't do it. I can't do it. It goes in, does the job. Chile. Ooh, it's another does the job. What we got there? Cameroon. Probably it does the job. We're on a bit of a does the job run right now. Oh my god. Can you hear the rain? There's torrential downpour all of a sudden. I might have to move the lawnmower. One sec. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move the lawnmower. Okay, China's got quite a cool flag. Yeah, we'll put it in pretty cool. Nah, it does the job. Could be more, you know. China's a diverse looking country. Okay, is that Thailand or is that Costa Rica? I think that's Thailand. And its colors all go together. Really nice, really striking. It goes in pretty cool. Tell you what, the sexy section remains ready to be filled. Who will end up in there? Who knows? And now we have Cuba. And it is it pretty cool or it does the job? It's pretty cool. What's that? Is that Cape Verde? That's definitely a pretty cool flag as well. How are the sections looking? Pretty cool is filling up. Epic has a lot of epic flags in as well. Does the job? I mean, let's be honest. When you see them all squashed in together, you see why they're in does the job. Look how much more epic the other sections look than does the job. I'm sorry, does the job flags, but what can you do? The Cyprus flag's definitely pretty cool. Even just the fact that it's got its own country in the flag. Not many countries have done that. There's only like one or two or something. And the orange goes with the white really nicely. Then we've got Czechia. I mean, that's definitely does the job, isn't it? I'm sorry, Czechia. It's just a bit boring. I like the diagonals. The German flag, the colors go really nicely, but it's probably just a does the job. Oh, I accidentally put it in awful. Es tut mir leid, Deutschland. Oh, Djibouti. What a funny noise I just made. Djibouti's flag's nice. It's nothing crazy though, is it? I'm putting it in pretty cool. Denmark flag, just maybe nothing crazy to it, is there? So for that, it goes in, does the job. Dominica has a purple parrot. It's one of the only flags that has the color purple, so that makes it pretty cool. And I like parrots. Next is Dominican Republic, and I just feel like the icon in the middle, it just doesn't go with the rest of the flag that well. I can't put it in awful, or can I? think I'm about to. Algeria's a cool flag. All of the colors go nice. Get yourself in pretty cool. Ecuador potentially could go in epic because I know it's a very complicated design, but when you see it full size, that's a cool looking eagle. I like the scenery. I like the fact the country's called Ecuador and it kind of looks like a door to somewhere cool. I think he gets to go in epic, you know. And I didn't think I'd do that, but I have. Oh, Estonia, one of the only cool looking tricolor flags. I think you get to go into epic. Just the blue, the black, and the white together. Oh, Egypt's coming up next. I don't know. I feel like Egypt could have had something a bit cooler. Get yourself in does the job. Ooh, what country is this? I actually can't remember. We'll ask Google Lens. Here we go. It's Western Sahara. Okay, so not everyone kind of considers that a country, but I think he's probably just a does the job, isn't he? That's Eritrea. This one should be pretty cool, but there's just something about it that doesn't capture me. It goes in, does the job. Spain's a pretty cool flag. It feels iconic. It feels easy to recognize. It's also got a tiny bit of pink in, and there's not many flags that do that. Ethiopia. Oh, ho, ho. Get yourself an epic, my friend. I'll be honest, I just like the blue. And also, it always makes me think of how excited I was when I spotted the Ethiopian embassy when I was doing my Flag London video. Finland. I'm sorry, Finland. There's just nothing that special about it. I like it, but, you know, it's alright. The Fiji flag. I'm really sorry, Fiji. I don't think that's a very good flag at all. Considering how beautiful the country is, their flag doesn't live up to it. I've put it in awful. Get that Union Jack out of there. There's too much blank blue space as well. It's messy, you know? Do you remember when you like paste an image into Microsoft Word and it just moves all your text in all these god-awful locations? That's like what happened when they made this flag. Next is Somalia. Somalia is definitely pretty cool. Is that Somalia? What I meant to say was Micronesia is pretty cool. France definitely does the job. There's really nothing that special about that. Alright, then we got the Gabon flag, which the colours go together nicely, but it's just so similar to many others that I often get them mixed up. So I guess it probably, I mean, it doesn't really do the job, does it? Because I forget which country it is. The colours go together nice. Put it in pretty cool. Then we got the Union Jack. Now I struggle to disconnect this flag from like negativity surrounding like colonialism and stuff, but this is literally just about how the flags look, and I think, to be fair, it's a pretty striking flag, isn't it? Definitely gets to go in pretty cool. All the colors go well. Then Grenada. See, Grenada's the kind of flag that you would assume I'd whack in pretty cool or epic, but I feel like it's potentially gone a bit far, to the point where it's so out there that it's just a bit too in your face. I definitely can't whack it in awful, but I can whack it and does the job. Georgia's pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. Then we got the Ghana flag, and the Ghana flag, I reckon, actually does get to go into epic. I think it's just the contrast of the deep black star. You don't really see that in any other flags. You stay in epic, my friend. The Gambia flag is also pretty cool. Just mixed it up with the white borders. If it wasn't for those white borders, it would be right and does the job. Okay, I think this is the Mali flag, but I may be wrong. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to whack it in awful. Okay, this one's Equatorial Guinea, and I would have liked it if the tree didn't look so much like it was drawn in Microsoft Paint. I don't feel good about this. It goes in awful again. We've just done a back-to-back awful. That's outrageous from me. The Greek flag kind of hurts your eyes to look at. There's almost too much contrast between the two colors. I'll put it in does the job, though. Definitely. There you go. Okay, is this one Guatemala? I like the cute bird. There's cool guns on it. You get to go on to pretty cool. Oh, what's that? That's Guinea-Bissau, isn't it? So that's another flag that's got the cool black star, but it isn't quite as effective as Ghana, therefore it goes into pretty cool. Oh, the Guyana flag. Yeah, you get yourself into epic, my friend. There we go. Look at that. Everything just goes together nicely. Honduras flag, it could be better as it does the job. Croatia flag's kind of a bit all over the place, but I think it does work, so we'll put it in pretty cool. Ah, I'm so sorry, Haiti. The Haiti flag is just totally thrown off by the white box around the emblem. It's like they pasted it in thinking it was a PNG, but it actually had a background. It's gonna have to go into awful. Okay, Hungary, the colors go together nice, but it's a bit boring. Indonesia, I think because of how many similar flags there are, it's gonna just have to go into does the job, even though I do like the two colors and the simplicity of it. The Ireland flag, let's whack it next to Ivory Coast. There you go, back to back. Oh, look at that. How's that looking? Sexy's still empty. Epic's got a lot of epic flags. There's tons in pretty cool, and yeah, when you look at does the job altogether, I think I'm quite happy with my decision thus far. Then we've got Israel. Israel's pretty cool. India, it's also pretty cool, isn't it? Iraq, I think that's another pretty cool. Triple pretty cool. And then Iran, yeah, they've got the nice borders between the colors. You stay there, my friend. Iceland, once again, is a pretty cool. I think I'll put Norway into epic, and Iceland gets to sit in pretty cool. But he's on the top row. Italy, it's just a bit standard. Jamaica, pretty cool, maybe even epic. I think just the fact that it doesn't have red, blue, or white in it, making it so unique, it gets to go into epic. Okay, Jordan is a definite does the job. Japan is very iconic. It goes into pretty cool. Very striking in a simple way. Kenya's a really cool African flag. It goes into cool. Oh, Kyrgyzstan. What is going on there? It's absolutely wild. I think it gets to go into epic. Cambodia, I'm sorry, Cambodia. You should kind of be in epic, but you're gonna have to stay in pretty cool. Kiribati, on the other hand, get yourself into epic. Well, Kiribati, what are you going into sexy for? If the sun and the bird looked as good as the waves, it would have gone into sexy, but they don't. That's Comoros. I think it's a really nice color scheme. It goes into epic for me. What's that? Is that St. Kitts and Nevis, I think? This flag should be higher, but I think it goes into does the job, just because something about it doesn't stick in my head. The North Korean flag, it feels so military. It feels like it would be made out of metal, and I reckon that's probably what they were going for, so I think it gets to go into pretty cool. And the South Korean flag, that's definitely epic, isn't it? Because there's just something about it. It's very, very nice flag. Okay, then we've got Kosovo, which is the only other flag that has itself in it, but unfortunately it just isn't quite as cool a shape as Cyprus, so it kind of looks like a blob on a screen. So for that, it does the job. Kuwait gets to go in pretty cool because they've mixed things up with the angles. Kazakhstan is an epic flag that gets to go into epic. I just love blue, I think. I think that's what we're learning here. Ooh, where would we place Laos? Probably it does the job, but is it a pretty cool? Yes, it does. Yeah, it stays and does the job. That was my gut instinct. Lebanon, it's kind of crazy looking. It gets to go into pretty cool because it's just different, you know? Oh! St. Lucia, you beauty, get where you belong right this second. I'll be honest, the blue is normally slightly prettier. Here's a picture. That's what you need to imagine, okay? The nice, really nice light blue. Liechtenstein, it's a pretty cool flag. Sri Lanka, definitely an epic flag. Just kind of doing its own thing. It's got a lion holding a sword. Why not? I think that's Liberia. It's very military feeling once again. I think it's a does the job because it's maybe a bit ugly. Lesotho, definitely not awful. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, that's Lithuania, which is another does the job. Then we've got Luxembourg, which gets to go in pretty cool because of its pretty colors. Latvia, it's quite similar to the Austrian flag, but they've mixed it up with the shapes, so I think it gets to go into pretty cool. Libya's a striking looking flag. Get yourself an epic, my friend. Okay, the Moroccan flag, it's a nice looking star, isn't it? It's not just the basic flat looking star. It feels almost 3D. So for that, you go on the top row of pretty cool. Okay, that's going to be Monaco. I'm sorry, Monaco. We're going to have to place you next to Indonesia. Oh my god, look at how they line up. Moldova is very nice. Where did we have Andorra? We had Andorra in pretty cool. I think Moldova gets to go at the bottom of epic because there's something about that cow. The Montenegro flag, I feel, is too detailed that it just doesn't quite work. So for that reason, it sticks in, does the job. Okay, that's the Madagascar flag, and I'm sorry, but Madagascar deserve a way cooler flag. It goes into awful. It's just the white box. I think the white box really throws it off. These kind of white boxes just make it look like they forgot to finish that part of the flag. Marshall Islands is a cool flag, but I'm not sure it's quite epic, so we'll plonk him in there. North Macedonia, definitely an epic flag. Mixed it up. You get yourself next to Kyrgyzstan. You could be friends, you two. Oh, who's this? Is that Guinea? I'm sorry, but Guinea and Mali are going to have to go next to each other. Mongolia, definitely an epic flag. Oh, yes, very nice. You could definitely learn how to draw that flag, but it retains its badass. Mauritania is a pretty cool flag. Pretty cool, looking like a very large section now. The Malta flag is good in principle, but there's something about the cross that throws it off. It's just a bit small for how detailed they made it. So I'm going to put it in does the job. Oh, next is delicious Mauritius. Move yourself up to epic. If it was 3 colors, I'd be like, who cares? But it's not 3 colors. It's 4 colors, and therefore I like it very much. Oh, next we have... I forgot again. Maldives. It's the Maldives. It's not Taiwan. I always get it mixed up. That is the Maldives, and it's probably a pretty cool flag, isn't it? I feel like I owe it to the Maldives. This one I think is Malawi, and I'm pretty sure that it would be pretty cool. Right in the middle. Mexico flag, very striking, very badass. There's literally an eagle just biting a snake. Go on, my son. You can go into epic. The Malaysia flag, I'm not a huge fan of the stripy bits. So for that reason, it's just it does the job. I'm sorry about that. Mozambique, really cool color scheme. The big scary weapon looks cool as well. I think it gets to go into epic. Yeah, that's a badass flag, isn't it? I think this is Namibia. It's another nice flag. We will place it. Pretty cool. Yeah, you have fun in pretty cool. The Niger flag, I don't know. It just looks unfinished, doesn't it? I may actually put it into awful. And then the Nigeria flag gets to go in. Does the job, maybe? El Salvador flag coming up next. I think it does the job. Do you know what? It can go at the bottom of pretty cool. Because there's something a bit intriguing about the triangle. And if you zoom in really close, there's a tiny bit of purple in there. And that makes it special too. Oh, look at this. This is all the flags we got left. I believe this is the Netherlands. I'm sorry. It does the job. There's just not that much going on with it, is there? Norway is... gets to go at the bottom of epic. You go there, my friend. But I want you to hang out with Iceland from below. Similar flags, but there is just something slightly more epic about the Norwegian one. Nepal just making its own rules. Obviously, that is an epic flag. Why is it shaped like this? I think this is Nauru coming up next, and I am going to whack him into pretty cool, because it's just different. The New Zealand flag, obviously, it's really similar to the Australian one, and I think I whacked that into pretty cool, yeah. But when you have them side by side, the white stars do just look quite a lot better than the white stars with red in the middle. So I think it's more of a does the job. Okay, next is Oman, and I'm sorry, but I think I'm whacking him into awful. It's not a particularly nice shade of orange, and also the fact that there's orange both here and over on the left. To me, it kind of looks like they were on Microsoft Paint, and they accidentally changed the color of the middle bit when they just meant to change the color of this side bit. So for that, it's in awful. Then we've got Panama, and I think Panama is pretty epic, you know. It's just nice with the back and the forth. You have fun up there, my friend. You've earned it. Just something about the opposites diagonally. Oh, it's nice. I think that's Peru. It's probably it does the job for me. Papua New Guinea is a pretty epic flag, isn't it? It's just got a really nice, powerful color scheme. Philippines, once again, pretty cool. You have fun. Pakistan, see, I don't really like the white over on the side. It just kind of makes it look like not filled in. But then it's pulled together by the white moon and star. So I think he gets to go at the bottom of pretty cool. This one in particular just works, doesn't it? Okay, I think that's Poland. I mean, it's really nothing special, is it? We'll put it with the others. Let's stick him in the middle. It does the job. Look at that. What's going on there? Portugal, to me, is also it does the job. Even though it's kind of its own thing, it's its own thing in quite a boring way. Palau, I mean, Palau's got to go wherever we put Bangladesh, hasn't it? I think it even gets to go ahead of it because it's a slightly nicer color scheme. Yeah, there you go. Next is Paraguay, which it does the job. Okay, then we've got Qatar. This is what I was referring to with Bahrain. It's just basically a slightly uglier version of the Bahrain flag, isn't it? I mean, this one obviously might be older, but just visually speaking, that's not as pleasant a shade of red, so it's in awful. There's either Romania or Chad. It's obviously it does the job. Serbia gets to go at the bottom of pretty cool, I would say. Or maybe we should put it with Albania so the two-headed birds can hang out with one another. There they go. Look at that. That's nice. Oh, but now Palau and Bangladesh aren't hanging out. One sec. Hang on. Oh, God. There we go. All right, then we've got a very fluorescent Russia. It's just another does the job, isn't it? Where's that? I think that's Rwanda, which would probably be a pretty cool. Hey, what are you all moving for, guys? Saudi Arabia coming up next. Saudi Arabia flag. It's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah, that's definitely a pretty cool. And then that's Solomon Islands, which, I don't know, I feel like could be cooler, so we'll probably just whack it and does the job. Ah, Seychelles, you beauty. I think Seychelles gets to go in sexy with the big lad. I mean, I would even be tempted to just start going wild and just splattering like a bunch of them in there, because like all of these flags, they're really nice, aren't they? Do you know what? I might just leave them up there. I've gone crazy. All right, time to speed run through the last ones, because it turns out this takes absolutely ages. South Sudan gets to go and does the job. Sweden gets to go near the bottom, are pretty cool because it's just nice color scheme. Singapore also does the job. That's Slovakia, I reckon. Slovakia goes into pretty cool. Slovenia, on the other hand, it's just like a bad Slovakian flag. flag. I think this is Sierra Leone, and it's a nice color scheme, so I'm whacking it in pretty cool. San Marino could even go into epic. Yeah, I think he deserves it. You stay in epic. The gold crown, the background color scheme, it's very nice. I cannot remember what country that is. Oh, it's Senegal, isn't it? Well, where did I put Cameroon? Because they belong together, don't they? Yeah, they both does the job, aren't they? The Somalian flag, I think, is really striking, so it definitely gets to go into pretty cool. As does the Suriname flag. They're somewhat similar with their centralized stars. Oh, I genuinely cannot remember what country that is. Please let me know in the comments. Either way, I'll whack him in does the job. Oh, that looks like the El Salvador flag, so it must have been the Nicaragua flag that I had earlier. But either way, they're both very similar, so I'm gonna just have to whack them in the same place. There we go, side by side. You can see how I got mixed up. The Syrian flag, obviously quite boring background colors, but the two green flags, they mix it up a bit, and for that, you get to go in pretty cool. The Eswatini flag is just absolutely rogue. It's just really doing its own thing, but almost in a way where it's just a bit much. And for that, I've put it in does the job. The second Romanian and Chad flag, definitely it does the job. That one, this is taking so long, by the way. Next is Togo. So, Togoing straight to pretty cool. Oh, is this Costa Rica? It looks like Thailand again because it's badly cropped. I mean, it's another pretty cool, isn't it? Oh, what's that? Tajikistan. I haven't seen the Tajikistan flag in ages. How delightful. Get yourself in pretty cool. Don't be shy. Timor-Leste, where we plonking you? I think you get to go into epic, don't you, with the other big lads? Get yourself next. Ah, see, look at that. I've whacked Guyana up in sexy. And then it feels like Timor-Leste needs to be up there, but it's just not quite as sexy, isn't it? We'll put it directly underneath. Turkmenistan flag. I might have to put it in awful, you know. It's just kind of too detailed in some areas and then blank everywhere else. Oh, I don't feel good about it. Tunisia is actually probably pretty cool. Togo is just not efficient use of space. There's just not really much going on with it. It's in awful. Turkey goes nicely and does the job. Trinidad and Tobago gets to go into pretty cool. I just like the color scheme. That's Tuvalu, I think. Another does the job. Then we've got Taiwan, which I don't really like the colors that much. I'm putting it with Togo. Look, they're quite similar. Here's Tanzania, really nice color scheme. Whack yourself into pretty cool. Then we've got Ukraine, which it's nice colors. It's very simple, but it does work. It goes into pretty cool. Uganda, you are pretty cool. USA. I've said previously, I don't really like the red and white stripes that much. I think it does the job. There it is. Uruguay coming up next. Let's put it next to US. Look at that. Look at all my white striped flags all hanging out together. Where's that? Is that Uzbekistan? That's quite nice, isn't it? But it does the job. The thin red, it just doesn't quite work for me. Oh, Vatican. Vatican's another square flag. I think it does the job, though, because it's just a bit too intricate in the design. I think it's St. Vincent and the Grenadines, isn't it? And it's definitely a pretty cool flag. Venezuela, also pretty cool. Don't be shy. Get yourself in there. Vietnam, really striking. That's pretty cool. Oh, Vanuatu. That could dip into epic. Yeah, you stay in epic. Genuinely don't remember what country this is. You're gonna have to once again let me know in the comments. But I'm not a huge fan of the spacing, so it gets to go with Togo and Taiwan up there. See, I don't like all this red. You can see it. Yemen definitely does what it needs to. It does with a job. South Africa, one of the coolest flags, definitely gets to go into epic. Zambia, objectively speaking, isn't a very pretty flag, is it? There's so much green there. It's just a bit dark as well. I might have to whack it into awful, you know. Oh, no. And then Zimbabwe, on the other hand, does the job. If the bird looked better, it would be pretty cool, but the bird just, you can't really see it that well. And then I've no idea where that is. I've never seen this flag in my life, so I'm whacking him in awful. And there it is. As easy as that. The official Flags of the World tier list. You can stop asking me to do this now. It actually was quite difficult to do, but hopefully you more or less agree with me, but I reckon you probably don't. I look forward to reading your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.